Let me ask this. Actually, I want to talk a little AEW because I saw DDM was you last night on Dynamite. Moxley and Darby Allin finally had their confrontation, and in our chat, you were saying that you was feeling what's going on right now. This shift with Jon Moxley, I believe last night after. I don't know if I could show the picture online without getting some type of violation, but after Jon Moxley took a plastic bag to Bryan Danielson face after the match or at All Out, he was saying that Danielson was incapacitated for the match with Darby Allin, but he said you don't deserve that title shot anyway. You feeling this, DDM?
Here's the thing. I always give credit where credit is due, even though people think I'm biased. I keep sports entertained.
We all are.
I will say, I love how Mox and Marina Shafir are presented. I think Marina Shafir, what?
No, you said I know that I'm biased. I said we all are, and he's saying I'm definitely biased.
Oh, okay.
He said
no, I love the way Marina Shafir is being presented.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a great refresh for her. I believe Mox. I like the confrontation between him and Darby Allin in the ring. I actually watched Dynamite, and I was entertained. Overall, the Mariah May champion ain't doing it for me. I don't live. I think the match with her and Queen Aminata was nice. Queen Aminata, I really want more for her.
She's doing a lot.
I want more for her.
Yeah.
But if I'm entertained, I'm gonna give you your 10s. And I was entertained. It was something that had me engaged. This learning tree shit, I'm not a fan of that.
Oh, we can't. The only program going on right now is this. Like, there's tendrils because I think. Well, I will say, while this makes a lot of sense, shout out Rock, piece of the 504. I don't like. I thought it was weird that they had a whole thing where Danielson couldn't wrestle. And then Nigel McGuinness, who they want the Nigel McGuinness match since Wembley Stadium when they cheer for that return.
They should have had it.
The people been wanting it ever since Nigel started talking about it. But when they saw him in the ring, all I saw on my timeline was, all right, give us Danielson. So I think they wanted to give that match, but Danielson's his time is running out. It feels like if he's ending this year. Whatever's happening is happening. You heard me? Whatever's happening is happening next month.
I think with Bryan Danielson, I think I'm sorry, man.
No. I was just saying this over. Go ahead.
I think he is getting what he getting. I think overall this past week though, I was entertained. Shout out to Sean because I did. Was it Sean? About the Willow and Statlander match. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
That was a good match.
I watched the premium live event, or theirs is a pay-per-view.
Theirs is a pay-per-view, yes.
I watched the pay-per-view, and it was quite a few matches on the card where I was like, okay, somebody woke up and said, knock it off.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. They did enough where I'm intrigued to watch Dynamite again next
That's
week.
funny.
The Grand Slam, they're building that for the end of the month. At the very least, that's going to be a solid show. That's the show where you're good. Assuming they made the Danielson Nigel McGuinness match, and then they put the poster out, and it said if Danielson can wrestle. So I don't know what the story is going to be, but I'm assuming you're going to get that match, and it's going to feed into this shit. Because I'm also assuming that Moxley's taking that number one. The way I book it, Moxley's champion in October.
Again?
It feels like whatever this movement. Again, we talk about All Out. He done choked out his homeboy Danielson. He said, the way y'all doing this shit is ass. He ended up aligning with Claudio and Pac, and they had the white t-shirts on like he do. And Wheeler Yuta was the only one. What you about to say?
Just don't remind you of the bloodline.
I think.
Oh, hold on, Mimi. It don't remind you of the bloodline because you're looking at the bloodline with Bloodline glasses.
Talk about the comparisons between this and
I
the.
just feel like the fact that you had Roman Reigns come back and he was on some completely opposite shit. Yeah, you had Jon Moxley was already like a hardcore wrestler, but he had some kind of moral about him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when he comes back, he turns on his homie,
Yeah,
and tries to kill him.
literally.
And now he's running with this pack of people, and they're extra tough guys. They're not like wrestling tough guys, which the BCCCC boot camp clique, whatever they
The
are.
boot camp click, yes. Yes.
What they were. They
Yes.
were like super wrestling niggas.
Yeah, facts.
They had like a code.
Right.
Now he like a wild out type nigga.
It feels like it's a I don't want to say NWO, but it feels like he's trying to bring a different energy completely.
But the fact that you recall first match when Roman came back as the other, not when he beat the Fiend in them up.
Mm-hmm.
When he had an actual match, he choked his cousin out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, which it brought a different kind of energy. And then my son come back and he try to suffocate this nigga. Like, I'm like, yo, this reminds me of that. It's just the feel of it reminds me of that. Like, it's the change.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I saw Mills's comment. He said he wishes Mox could be a little bit more sinister.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like this felt sinister. It felt like gang. Like,
Right.
holy shit. I would tune in just to watch that.
Nah, for real. I think, especially on a night where they had cinder blocks and hypodermic needles in the main event, I was actually surprised that they went. I went to bed. I saw whatever on the timeline, but I was surprised that they went with that, knowing full well they were having an unsanctioned lights out cage match. Like it was so over the top. It was ill, but it was so over the top that AEW was not letting people post it on. They said we're not going to reshow this footage.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they and normally they reshow everything online.
The suffocation?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it 800 times.
I saw it too, but they didn't put it on their channel. They didn't put it on their outlets. I think because
I'm never watching that shit.
I mean,
the suffocation. You saw it. You saw the suffocation.
Oh,
No, I saw the still. Well, I did see when they try to snub son out or rub son.
Tried to assassinate him.
Rub son out.
That does.
They did. Rub him out.
TDM is still over there, yo. Like, what is going on?
Damn it.
You got a smile on though.
Yeah.
Smiling, yo.
So
Shout out
bad.
Vin Rock. Shout out Vin Rock.
Cinderella.
But
Pay for this.
Cinderella is funny.
Cinderella is wow.
That's the name.
That's my guy, though. I love that.
We all love Vin.
No,
Vin
Vin's
is a
great.
moon.
Oh, horny ass.
Jeez. Shouts out to him. Shouts out to Samples in the China shop on the Patreon. Was there anything? What else is popping in AEW? Oh, also I watched it for the Patreon, but the Ospreay Pac match was fire. It's probably one of the best Pac matches I've seen in a minute. That man, the brain he hit a brain buster off the top rope at one point in that match. Whew. He was going in that match. He was going in that match.
I'm a huge Pac fan. I love him.
I like Pac. I like where Pac is at.
A little liquor or
Pour out a
My favorite
little
song.
liquor. Pour out a little liquor. Pour out a little liquor. Who else Pod just break out in the song like that? Like, come on. Come on.
remix.
That was we was on 3 different versions of that song. We was in the demo, we hit the unreleased remix, Pete Rock remix, we hit all of them. Yeah, the pause tape remix. I was in hit the EDM on it. Yeah, we put the dubstep. There's been talk about AEW TV deal. I don't hear. I let Meltzer tell it it's final, but there was a trademark that was announced last week for AEW Shockwave, and I think you said no. Tony Khan made a comment about AEW making a shockwave through the industry, but now word today is that shock because there was a rumor that AEW may be getting a show with Fox. The thought now is that AEW Shockwave could be an FS1 AEW show
on a like a regular night.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, FS1 is what US or what Fox would use when SmackDown couldn't show up on Fox. FS1 shows like Mad Sports. I don't know like what the time frame will be where they are going to be prime time but not be
should they even be creating more shows right now?
Great question, Mimi.
That is a great question.
Nigga,
I mean, should we be even doing this? Should we not be focusing on the shows that we have right now to just try to rebuild, rebrand, do what you need to do with the ones with the time that you have right now? Like, why would you create another show? And not even bring, so the Shockwave would be a replacement of ROH?
Well, all right. I'm glad you asked that. ROH, what did Vince say? Vince said, shout the simp. He brought up today that ROH should have been a free should have a free channel on Tubi and Pluto. Facts. They really do need to be taking that off of a Honor Club and putting that. ROH should be moving like NXT's moving on TV, but the conversation, Mimi, has been that for ever since Tony Khan purchased. Again, this is all speculation. I don't know any of this to be fact, but the thought has been that he purchased ROH with the thought that at some point it would be like an NXT, like Meltzer. You know how they do like WWE NXT? Like if you look in the listings, the thought would be that at some point it would be AEW Ring of Honor. I think the problem is, and I don't know if this is because he hasn't really done much with the brand to make it more appealing. They're saying that he's been trying to include Ring of Honor in the TV deals and people haven't really been buying into it. I think part of it's because there's no...
They ain't did shit with
he had AEW people on it before, but like there's not like stars on that show. And most of the champions from ROH are...
Because they don't push that show.
Mark Briscoe's on Dynamite and Collision more than I see him, doing stuff really for Ring, and he's got the title. But he was putting pennies in Chris Jericho's car on Dynamite last night. They tried to make that look like it was crazy. They said $7,000. He had about $70 in pennies thrown up into the anyway.
I had to post that.
I think I say all that to say, Mimi, I wonder if he'd been trying to do like TV deals and using AEW Ring of Honor as a bargaining chip and then being like, we want wrestling, but that's probably not the wrestling that we want. Can you make us a show?
So they want the other three shows?
No.
Oh,
right.
They don't want the other three shows and they don't want Ring of Honor.
From what I'm understanding right now...
Wait, what?
Yeah, right.
From what I'm understanding right now, the Warner Brothers deal is supposed to be for a re-up of what's there. So Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. There's no talk from what I don't know if there's any talk about pay-per-views going to HBO Max anytime soon or anything like that. It strictly feels like a re-up for more money, but a re-up. And I wonder if conversations with Fox or these other people are to ante up even more, diversify even more, because I don't know what the deal is going to, how long the terms are going to be on the deal, but at some point they're going to have bargaining chips to have these conversations with these other outlets in 3 years, 5 years, whatever the terms of the deal will be. He's going to have to do something.
But they don't want the shows that they have. So what else could they be creating? Like what else can they do if they can't get what they have right now right?
I agree with Salt on this one. Like, it just is what it is.
No, DDM saying.
I mean,
they both Salt. That's
no, he. That's funny.
No.
He's Pepper.
No, they're both Salt.
This is.
Oh, aren't you funny?
Matt says, sort. Sort.
Up his pay because he's bringing in the ratings. But no,
I'm sorry.
I know you want to be funny. No, I agree with Mimi. Like, I think what AEW needs to do, they need to do what Marvel is doing right now. Marvel is cutting out, they canceled and put on hold a lot of their TV shows. They pushed a lot of movies back, and they're focusing on the thing that made them the thing. Mm-hmm. And Dynamite is your thing. You need to focus on programming one show.
That's right.
Really well.
Right.
Because I just said, I'm interested in watching Dynamite again next week after seeing what I saw today. There was a time when I watched Dynamite faithfully every week and was not watching WWE every week. You know, back in that like 2021 time, 2020.
You was riding.
You know, but you know, focus on making something really great and investing in that brand. I'm not saying that they're comparing themselves to WWE, sure, but WWE has a lot more history and cachet to be able to do a NXT, a SmackDown, a Raw, a main event, you know, all these different pay-per-views and things like that. He's trying to make himself a thing that the public at large doesn't have enough knowledge with the knowledge of the IP. And I'm not just talking about wrestling, folks,
in general.
It's just not enough name recognition for you to be doing all of this. Make one thing great. Make people fight for TV time. I know that sounds crazy, but when competition breeds champions, and you would see a lot of great things if you just focus on making Dynamite what it was. Your numbers are still slipping. You're up there with NXT. Like, come on, man.
I don't know if they can. Their system ain't set up for that though. There's too again. We're just like I said earlier. We're getting Nigel McGuinness and Bryan Danielson partly because Danielson feel like he's at the end of the clock, but also that's what the fans want. AEW does a lot of appeasing fan demand. The dream matches are big over there.
So Nigel McGuinness was a wrestler?
Yes. He got injured and he wasn't wrestling for a bit, if I'm not mistaken.
And now he's been sitting on commentary. And what made him get out of the chair and say, "I'm gonna go"? Like what?
Him being back in Naples or Waples, wherever.
When they were in Wembley Stadium, they did the Casino Gauntlet match. The match that Christian Cage won. The Ricochet's AEW debut match was there. Nigel McGuinness was a part of that, and it was a big crowd moment. Correct. They blew up for that, and it was him. Like him, Kylie Watson, and a couple of other people. That segment of the match was like really big for that hometown crowd, and I think because of that, they're like, "Hey, he's able to wrestle. Danielson may not be wrestling a lot anytime soon. We got time to do the match." And that's the thing, though. It's McGuinness built this match when he came back. He's been talking and demanding this Danielson match, so it's like
he's been talking fly about it.
This is the time to do it. You know, if you're going to get the match done before Danielson's done.
It was him and Zack Sabre Jr. when it was
Zack Sabre Jr. was the other one that was out there. Yeah,
it was a big fucking. They got a big round of applause when they faced off in the ring.
Right. I don't know. I think that the booking's going to sort itself out because, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. DDM's future husband, Jon Moxley, is going to make it sort itself out. It feels like it. It sounds like he's hell bent on forming.
Moxley don't look like a Irish R&B singer right there.
The shaven head and tight t-shirt. Yeah, it's and he's got the slim pants. Is definitely a look. It's definitely a look.
Very sexy.
It's
because I'm about to say I did not christen Max one of my husbands.
You was talking fly about him. You was talking fly about him. If I would not be surprised if when he's a champion, my new husband Mox.
My new husband Mox look the fuck good.
Look at Dean Ambrose. Look at Dean Ambrose. Sorry.
He had on some nasty white
He
tee.
had a nasty V-neck white tee with a nasty, dirty black
That's
boot.
nasty, bitch.
Jesus Christ.
Y'all don't know me.
All right. All right. All right.